Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this episode, we're talking about the positives and negatives about a couple that's been playing for a while and a brand new couple to the lifestyle.
So keep watching.
So we just got back from Westport.
We did. Oh my goodness, what a great time.
Yeah, that is one of our favorite things that we do every year.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
Top of the list.
They're doing 3 this year at Sapphire, and this was the second one in a row in June.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And
It was.
We had a pretty kick-ass room that we decorated because they had a luau night.
So much fun.
And it was
We
good.
went all out.
That's right.
We
That's
did.
right.
I made fondue. I even had people asking for my recipe.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. And so like right after that event, they put the September October one up for sale, and it's already booked.
Yes.
Already sold out.
Sold out already.
In a week.
Oh
in a week.
my gosh, that's amazing.
We always tell people like book as soon as you possibly can, and they
Just
usually go on
as soon as you
sale
think you wanna go.
right. Yeah, they usually go on sale right at the end or right at the time of one happening or finishing up right then. So you can get on the waiting list for the
And
fall one.
Do that because things happen. People, think family come out, see if someone gets sick, whatever. So get on the waiting list. Like nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So do that, and then of course there's going to be one again in the spring.
Yeah.
So
And we're gonna have another amazing room too. So
That's right. We actually
Yeah.
have like 3 couples. We're all getting together to get this one big room together because it's going to be pirate themed, and it'll be crazy. And I'll probably put a picture or video or something on here after it's done, so people can kind of see what it looked like if you didn't show up. Anyway, we had a great time, and something that we talk about a little bit here and there, and it did come up on this event as it has come up in other events recently, is hanging out with new couples. One thing that we've talked about before. We do talk to a lot of couples that have been in the lifestyle for a long time that have said, we stay away from new couples. New couples have the highest potential for drama happening, or for someone to flip out, or start crying, or I don't know what all the different things that can happen with being the first time, especially if a couple doesn't communicate. We actually had we were talking to a couple. We went on a cruise a few months ago who there were a lot of new couples on this event, because after COVID, so many people were just kind of anxious to go and do something that a lot of new couples just kind of jumped into the deep end. And we talked to one couple that was just very much like, we haven't talked about this. We just bought the tickets, 2 weeks in advance, and we've hardly communicated at all. And we could tell very much so that they were not on the same page. The husband was raring to go, can't wait for an orgy. And the wife was like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. And it's like, we're just like, oh no, that's not going to end well if they jump right in. And being in an event like that where there were thousands of people, it's a red flag for people that have been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So for years we had always said, we tend to stay away from focusing on new couples. Even though a lot of couples that we know that have been in this a while will get excited about a new couple because they're like, ooh, fresh meat. I want to be the first ones in there. Having fun with them. And that's cool. We had tended to stay away from that for many years because of the potential for issues. However, for no particular reason, I've just kind of run into this a lot lately, where I have been the single guy in a threesome, or one fairly recent time where it was a brand new couple. They hadn't done anything at all, and I was her first in the lifestyle, and one of those turned into drama, and which I'm usually not a part of. So I try to stay away from drama. But it was interesting to kind of see a lot of the issues that come up with a new couple when they don't communicate well, or one expectations are considerably higher than the other one. But it was actually kind of nice In the other scenario, where this was a couple that was brand new, they hadn't done anything before, but they'd been in the club a couple times, and they were very excited to be doing things, and they were specifically looking for a single gentleman to join them for their first threesome, and I was willing to do that, and it ended up being a very good situation. And they actually came up to me afterward, and they said how much they appreciated the fact that, like, I just knew so much about, like, how to make sure that they're communicating and how comfortable they are with each other and talking to each other throughout the whole thing. And then after it was done, making sure that they really communicated, what was good, what was bad, what was positive, what was negative. And, they did tell me that there was one thing that they did feel, or that at least the guy felt uncomfortable with. He just didn't really like the passionate kissing, and but everything else was great. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. If that's something that you don't feel comfortable with, you might change in the future, you might not. Oftentimes we see new couples that are like, oh, we don't want any kissing at all. And that rule, generally we see kind of falls out the window after a short period of time, because kissing is kind of a part of sex.
Right.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, if that's their rule or what they feel comfortable with, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the job of the person joining in to understand all these things and not cross any boundaries and not feel, not, oh, well, let's...
Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt
please.
But I feel like people who have been in the lifestyle for a long time
mm-hmm.
Can take this moment, and instead of saying, I'm never going to be with a new couple, because mm-hmm. how are they going to ever get the opportunity?
Right.
If everybody is like, we're never going to be with new couples because there's just too much drama or whatever, they're never going to be anything but a new couple. So someone needs to take them under their wing,
mm-hmm.
so
mm-hmm.
to speak.
Yeah.
I think when you approach a new couple, having the sensitivity, having a lack of selfishness is so important that, almost like we need to think of this as seasoned swingers,
mm-hmm.
think of this as an opportunity to ease them into and show them a good time so that we can continue to build the community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they have a bad experience, they may never come back.
Right.
They may be like, this was not for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not able to grow our community
mm-hmm.
unless we nurture it.
That's a really good way to look at it,
right.
because I could, in any of these situations, I could have been greedy, and
mm-hmm.
I could have been like, I don't really care what the husband thinks. I just want to get inside her
right.
pants. And what? It's their problem, whatever argument they have afterward. And that's a terrible way to look at
Absolutely.
it.
You want them to leave the situation without that argument.
Right, because I could look at it like, well, I got mine,
mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there are a lot of, I guess, say single guys, but I mean, just people in general that might be looking at it from a purely selfish
I think
standpoint.
even couples could look at it as a selfish
Well,
standpoint.
absolutely, and it's like, but if you step back and go, which is what I did,
right.
is what I did in a situation or both situations where I'm like, I just want them to feel as comfortable as they can, and I'll do as much or as little as they want to. If they decide, hey, we just want to have sex next to you. Okay, we want to have sex in front of you. Okay, I'm cool with that. I've had sex with a lot of people. If I don't get sex tonight, okay, that's
right.
fine too. But if it's one of those things that actually helps them with their stepping stone,
mm-hmm.
where they're like, you know what, that was fine. I feel comfortable. I feel that was a good experience, and we talk about it, and then we feel sexy towards each other, and we feel like we want to do this again, maybe take one more step forward or do exactly the same thing or whatever. And it's kind of my job to be like, hey, this is great, whatever you guys want, because more important than anything is, you're right, I want them to feel comfortable in the lifestyle so that they continue on in the lifestyle, right. And it grows our community, and of course it grows another fun couple to play with.
And I think too, having showing a new couple good communication skills is also important. I mean, mm-hmm. we can tell these new couples over and over, communicate.
Right.
They may not fully get that when you're in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're speaking to a new couple and you think it might be moving in that direction, continue to communicate with them. Let them know, hey, when we're in the middle of play, you know, if you decide that you're uncomfortable or you're feeling like you don't want to do this anymore or whatever, speak up. That's okay. You don't have to go to completion.
Yeah.
You know, that you being okay with what's happening or your partner being okay with what's happening, that's okay. And I don't even think it's, you know, it's a negative thing to say to them, if you two want to have a little, you know, touch thing where, you know, if I touch you, pull your ear, that means we need to take a step back. Or maybe it's just that's not enough, and knowing that if I whisper in your ear, you okay, and then I can or you know, yes. Or maybe, you know, if like if we were new and you whispered in my ear at some point, are you doing okay? And then I can say yes, or I can say no, and then you help me get out of that situation. Knowing that there's an out, and there's always an out. I mean, you just because you come to a lifestyle event doesn't mean you have to do anything.
Right.
So knowing that as a new couple is very important, but you as the guide for that play session,
right,
letting them know, and even throughout, are you guys doing okay? And then afterwards, how, you know, you guys go back into your room and chat about this, and you know, remind them to have that communication afterwards.
And as someone who's been doing this a while, I should feel perfectly comfortable saying, even in the middle of things, if one of you is feeling uncomfortable, it's okay. You don't have to whisper. You don't have to do some code, which is fine if you do all that, if you don't want to hurt my feelings or have whatever. But I'm perfectly okay if one of you says, you know, I just want to stop. No, you don't have to give explanation. You don't have to say, well, I'm not feeling, or my stomach hurts, or all the excuses. You could one person can literally, and that's definitely including when you're in a foursome as well.
Yes.
It's I would hope that most people that have been doing this for a while would be perfectly fine if you're in the middle of a foursome and one of the people, especially if they're new, said, I feel like we should just stop. That it just stops.
100%.
And everybody else should be totally cool with that. And I would tend to believe that's going to be the case. The case. And you know, and that kind of goes back to just comfort levels and consent in general, which is you know, obviously a big topic in the lifestyle, and because consent is so important. But I do feel that most people are okay in the situations of just, I just want to stop. Okay. I don't need an excuse. No one's going to be like, so what? Why are you stopping? You better there better be a good reason for this, because I was planning on having really long sex with you. Like, that's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. People are really, really good at consent for new couples. Well, and also if they've been doing this a while,
knowing too, if play gets stopped in the middle of things. There's someone else right over there.
Right.
You know, it's not like this is the only couple you can ever play with. You know, like, okay, what's the big deal? If they weren't comfortable, you know, maybe find out, get some feedback if it was something that they were going through or something that you did or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, move on, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
And like the first couple I mentioned that there was drama, I was very disappointed. I was just like, oh, I really wanted to continue on this because she was so hot and we connected so well and all that kind of stuff. But when it came down to it, and I tell everybody this, and I'm sure I've said this on videos as well, when it comes down to it, more important than anything is your relationship with your spouse or significant other. We're all extra. Everybody here you meet at these things, we're all play friends. We're all extra little things that you can go and enjoy, and it's a hobby, as we often say. And so no one's going to be particularly offended. They might be disappointed, but as I have been, and I'm sure others have been, where it's like, I'm so excited, it didn't work out. Okay, like you had said, it's not the end of the world. There's someone else right in the corner who's you're going to be just as excited, if not more, about playing with. So you don't take it to heart. You don't just be bummed forever, because it's really not the end of the world. But more important than anything is your relationship to your other person. So you have to communicate, and you have to feel, if you're uncomfortable with something, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. You don't ever have to go, well, we're in the middle of things, I'm just going to keep it to myself and bottle it up and be quiet and just kind of go on doing what I'm doing, and my husband and I will talk afterward. And then it ends up being a much bigger problem than it would have been if you were just like, let's just stop, or I just need to go and go. Okay, hey, it was great playing with you guys. We're gonna take off, or at the very least, we're gonna go talk.
Yeah, I think you had said making sure that your relationship is important, but I also think along the lines of what I was saying earlier, nurturing their relationship, making sure that we all have good relationships, because again, this can't be a lifestyle if we're all fighting with each other or having a bad time.
Sure.
So we have definitely been with people and newer couples or whatever and said encourage them to decompress and figure out like, how did that go for you, what talk about it and see how it went. I don't want to have someone just play in a situation with us. If we're in a group of 4 and someone's just kind of like not into it, but not an enthusiastic yes, and just kind of like, whatever, doesn't speak up, and then never tells anybody, like her spouse or whatever, that she had a bad time or he had a bad time or whatever. Communication, as you said, even in the middle of play, is okay.
Yeah. And honesty is okay, and it's or at the very least, just not saying, you don't need an excuse.
Right.
You can literally just be like, we're just going to take off, or we're done.
And talk to that about it. Talk about that subject with each other. I think early on, I may not have been brave enough to do that, because I would have felt like I was disappointing you.
Yeah.
That I would have continued putting myself in what I felt was an uncomfortable situation because I didn't want to make you stop.
Right.
And so explore that with your spouse and make sure that you're on the same page and that you're both okay with that. Because you shouldn't be putting yourself into a situation where you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
And you should be comfortable with your person enough to say, I'm done, I need a break, I need out, whatever. And then go talk about it later when you're alone. But yeah, definitely talk to your spouse about how you would handle these situations if they were to come up.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, respond below if you think we're just right on the ball, or if we're way off. If we don't know what we're talking about. But we'd really love to hear your feedback on this, because this is something that does come up a lot in conversation with new couples and couples that have been doing this a long time, of how to deal with these situations. Are they good? Are they bad? Should you just stay away from them? Should you go for them because it's important to nurture our community and grow our community? What are the right ways? What are the wrong ways to do this? And
how do you handle a new couple?
Do you play with new couples? Do you never play with new couples? We just want to hear. We just want to hear what your feedback is. And of course, go to www.clubsapphire.net. Check out all the amazing events that are happening. Like I said, Westport's already sold out, but get on the waiting list for next time.
Yeah.
And join us at those, because those are always amazing.
So much
and
fun.
of course, they're now Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's crazy. So they're back. They're back to normal. This place is amazing.
Yep.
So check it out and come, and if you ever see us, come say hi. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.